Oh yeah, what's up everybody? Frank Red, you're locked in the dungeon. Finally, it happened. It's 12 a.m. on a Sunday night. Everybody's like, what? Frank Red is on the air. Yeah. I'm the type of player that I need about 100 reps, so thanks to my guy Larry Kruger on the Krug Show, been putting it down for me, giving me an opportunity to go on his show and do my thing. I am so appreciative. The Krug Show, everybody check it out. Like I need to say that. Got over 18,000 subscribers and counting. That's pretty darn good. All right? And I'll continue to go on that show anytime he invites me. I look forward to chopping it up with him and so many other folks that make that show what it is. It's pretty dope. But we also do something over here. It's called In the Dungeon Show. A lot of heads, longtime heads out there have supported me, and hopefully that's going to continue. We do things a little differently. We're going to focus on hip-hop music, first and foremost. The game has changed quite a bit since I've been on air, but I'm a hip-hop head. I'm an artist myself, and I got a good ear. And I love to promote new artists. I also promote myself and let you know when I got something going on. I got music out on YouTube, and we'll talk about that, you know, as we evolve. Not necessarily do it right now. But the vibe that you hear, music in the background, we're going to do that definitely to create the type of aura that we want within the Dungeon program. As a matter of fact, the bed music that you're listening to right now is one of my instrumentals for one of my joints. It's called I Can Do Anything. And I can do anything, all right? If you're watching on YouTube right now, hit the like button and subscribe to the In the Dungeon program. And I know it's early, but we're gonna get it going. We'll figure it out in terms of how many times we're gonna be on, but if it's topical, if the listeners want to hear something from me, we got to do it. All right? You can also follow me at Big Frank Red on Twitter, which is the primary social media that I vibe with right now. I have some other accounts. I don't really use them. I use Twitter right now. I'm sure that I will evolve over a period of time, but I like to write. I'm a writer. You know, I take great pride in my pen game. Be it writing a rhyme, writing a screenplay, writing an essay, whatever it is, I like to put pen to paper in a literal sense, and I still write rhymes in notebooks. You know, it's funny when I see rappers hold like, they got iPhones and they're reading. My eyesight is leaving, so I can't do that. I don't want to do that anyway. It's something about scribbling stuff off on a paper. I said, nah, that lyric doesn't work. I got to do something else. That's all part of the game. That's how I learned how to write rhymes. Listening to the greats. The LL Cool J's of the world, the Rakims, the KRS-Ones, the Ice Cubes, the J. Coles, the Drakes, the Latifahs, the Lights, the Lauryn Hills, the Eminems, the Nas's, the Jay-Z's, so many artists that I love and I still listen to. We'll talk about it. Common, one of my most influential artists of all time, Royce da 5'9". So you kind of see where my mind is when it comes to hip hop. I'm expanding just like everybody else. My name is Frank Red. This is the In the Dungeon program. And we'll go tonight for as long as the vibe is right. You know what I'm saying? But some of the topics we're going to talk about tonight are the thrashing of the Boston Celtics by the Miami Heat, 128 to 102. And Warrior fans and Kings fans, you probably don't feel as bad now watching that, because I think that either team could have put forth a better showing than the Boston Celtics have done so far. Down 0-3 now. No team in the history of the NBA has ever come back from an 0-3 deficit. I'm not saying that they can't do it, but it's highly unlikely because the team is disconnected. And you might ask, why? Well, I'm also a coach. I also played at a high level. Chemistry, respect are two variables that are essential to winning and being connected. The Miami Heat are the antithesis of the Boston Celtics right now. They are connected. They believe in their head coach. They believe in their head coach's boss. They believe in all of the veterans that sit in stands now with suits on. They call it Heat culture. Big Shaq O'Neal, who's supposed to be impartial, working for TNT. Wasn't that funny? they flashed Shaq, and Shaq was sitting with the Miami Brain Trust. I thought that was funny. But that's that love, man. You can't forget about that just because you are a retired player. Shaq also played for the Celtics, by the way, but he wasn't sitting with them. All right, so let's talk about the game a little bit. The Miami Heat was led by the Central Valley's own Mr. Benson, Gabe Benson. And Gabe Benson had 29 points. Yeah, it's kind of a cute story. He was undrafted and all that type of stuff. But at this point, it doesn't matter. This guy's like 4 or 5 years into the NBA. And I got to be honest, a good friend of mine, Carl Foster, youth basketball extraordinaire, he and I took a long ride when Gabe Benson was in high school to Vegas as he played for the Oakland Soldiers or the Soldiers. I'm not quite sure if they had changed the name of that AAU organization, but I know he was on the team. And I fancy myself as a talent evaluator. I'm a coach, I'm a talent evaluator. And when I saw Gabe Benson in high school as a 6'3", dual guard, playing like he's playing now at the NBA level, I was like, who's that guy? That guy, and I asked him, I said, Gabe, where you going to college? He said, UC Santa Barbara. I was like, whoa. They scored a home run. I thought he could have played at Kansas. He looked like a Kansas player to me. Selfless, like he's showing as a Miami Heat. Do anything to win. The type of players that coaches love. The type of players that Bill Self goes to war with every year. And I'm sure he would have thrived in any other major college as well. But Kansas popped into my head. Unfortunately, he had a tough career at Santa Barbara. Was injured quite a bit throughout his career. And, seemed to be destined for Europe. But he said, I'll have none of that. I'm going to show people what I'm made of. And that mentality, that toughness, that work ethic resonated with the Miami Heat like it has so many times with undiscovered players. Next thing you know, those players become mainstays in the NBA. I'm so happy for Gabe. Because he is unbothered by anything that Boston wants to throw at him right now. He's doing his thing. Once again, he had, 29 points? Plus minus, I believe, 18. He did his thing. Okay. So Boston's down 3-0 down. It's not looking good. So where do they go from here? All NBA owners and organizations have a lot of money. So the fact that Mazzulla got an extension, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, I would hope it's at least 2 years guaranteed, 3 years at pretty good money. $3 million? I don't know, 2.5? I don't know. I'm not in the guy's pocket. But you could fire him and make a very good case while he should be fired. I do not like firing coaches. I don't. Coaches don't hire themselves. And, they won 58 games. It's not like they didn't get it done in the regular season. But there's clearly some issues right now. that they have to overcome. And firing Joe Mazzulla would be the easy way out. But I think that there are larger issues concerning their two best players, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, right? You might want to consider trading Jaylen Brown. And I think that right now you could get a lot out there for him. Golden State Warriors, Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins for a, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Robert Williams, something like that. Phoenix is another team that I think works. You could send DeAndre Ayton to Boston for Jaylen Brown and Robert Williams. Because if you're going to keep Joe Mazzulla, he has to feel comfortable within that organization that he can get guys to buy in to his philosophy. Because apparently it looks like the guy's done a lot of things right, but he needs to have that comfort level just like players do, because he certainly doesn't feel it now. A couple of games ago, he didn't call a timeout. He came back the next press conference and said, yeah, I should have called time. No, listen. Go down with the ship. Sail successfully with the ship. Whatever you need to do. But as a head coach, you got to feel comfortable. It's up to the Celtics to make sure that the parameters of your comfortability is in place. It's not in place right now. If he's going to stay, some guys got to go. Who those guys are could be based on a lot of different things. Fit, money, communication, relationships, so on and so forth. I can't see the Celtics trading Jason Tatum. I just can't. As poorly as he played, I think we look at the history of the Boston Celtics. He's the guy who they want to see his jersey hanging in the rafters next to the Larry Birds, the John Havliceks of the world, the Paul Pierces, the Kevin Garnett, if it hasn't happened yet. So if Joe Mazzulla is there, I think the Celtics will look different than they look right now. People are throwing out Nick Nurse as somebody who potentially could come in there and do a professional job. Of course he could. But I don't know if he's the right fit. One of the things that Ime Udoka did for those Celtics was he provided mentorship and nurturing to some really young, talented players that really could relate to him. And I'm watching the game tonight, and I'm watching Tatum go 1 for 7 from 3, Jaylen Brown go 0 for 7, and I'm thinking to myself, if Ime Udoka is coaching the Celtics tonight, he's calling timeout, and he's saying, take the ball to the basket. Maybe with some other colorful words also. But that message is going to be conveyed to everybody on that team. And I kept asking myself, sitting there watching that, saying, does Joe Mazzulla have the wherewithal, the confidence to get in these guys and have it resonate? Words have to resonate. You can say words to anybody, but do they resonate? Do they mean something? Will they take those words and apply them into action? That got me thinking. All right. So, we could talk about a lot of different stats, and they're all ugly. So I don't really think that even matters. That's not the story. The story is the Boston Celtics, the team that most people thought, including myself, was going to come out of the Eastern Conference as the Eastern Conference champion and challenge the Western Conference champion. Which I thought the Warriors had a chance, a good chance if everything went right. But the most talented team is clearly the Denver Nuggets. And they're taking it to the Lakers. The Lakers are down 0-3. And I felt sorry for LeBron last night. Officially, LeBron is my favorite player to watch in the NBA right now. Now that Steph Curry is preparing with his guy, Klay Thompson, to take on Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce in that one-off golf match on TNT on June 29th. That should be interesting. I'm sure they'd rather be playing basketball, Clay and Steph. But Steph is my favorite player to watch. But right now, it's LeBron. To see what he's doing at 38 is simply amazing. He's the best player on the LA Lakers to me. Not the most dominant, but he's the best player. And his coach hurt him last night. I'm going to tell you why. At 7:18 in the fourth quarter, the score is 93 all. LeBron just hits 2 threes. He had not hit 2 threes in multiple games. Coach takes him out, good intentions, want to get him some rest. When LeBron came back in at the 6-minute mark, they were down 99-94. 5 points, ball game. Denver's already more talented than you are. 5 points, that's 2 possessions, maybe 3. And you got to stop them 3 times just to get tied. Lakers can't do that. They don't have that type of firepower. Especially with LeBron, getting tired. And he led the team in minutes for 43 minutes. So, Darvin Ham, as well as he's coached his team this year, he's done a phenomenal job. I think if he had to take that move back, he would do it. If you want to rest LeBron, take LeBron. Call timeout. We're not taking timeout to the grave with us, all right? Call timeout. Rest your best players via timeout. They got a lot of commercials to sell, right? 3-4 minutes. And I think that's why LeBron walked up. LeBron was like, yo, I'm going to be respectful of the coach, but why am I coming out now? I just hit 2 threes. Call timeout if you need to rest me. But he was the guy orchestrating their offense and the defense. So, Mike Malone is kind of in his feelings a little bit. I've never seen Mike Malone talk so much in press conferences. I think Mike Malone is an excellent coach. And he's probably feeling the heat a little bit because good coaches are getting fired for not always the right reasons. So he's probably a little antsy, even though he has the best team. You got the best team, Coach Malone. And his teams are responding. But I think the Lakers let one get away. And now I'll be shocked if the Lakers could come back and win the next 4 games against the Denver Nuggets. I can't see that happening. But that's my assessment of what took place last night. I would think that the Boston Celtics are going to get phone calls and speeches, and maybe they'll have a seance. Maybe they'll take yoga, whatever they need to do. Maybe they'll just go to the beach in Miami and chill. Go to a club or something. Just let it all hang out. Come back on Tuesday night and get 1 win. Right? Before you win 4, you got to win 1. So, wouldn't surprise me if the Celtics reach back for all that heart that they used to play with. They haven't played with much in this particular series, which is kind of shocking to all of us. But I like a lot of their players. But they got to show respect to their coach. Big Al Horford, dude, you're a French Hall of Famer. You've been a 4-time All-Star. I got so much respect for you. But you're disrespecting your coach when you keep sitting in the coach's seat. Maybe once, okay? Maybe you want to grab some guys on the side and kind of coach them up. But these nonverbal messages are being sent to the players again and again and again and again and again. That wasn't cool. Especially when you're not going out there balling out of control. If you really want to empower your team, go out there and ball out. So that's something maybe he and Coach Mazzulla will have a conversation about. You might have found your way to this program. You're saying to yourself, who is this guy? My name is Frank Red, everybody. I love sports. I love hip hop. I love to talk about it. I like to talk about a lot of other different things too that I'm sure over a period of time we will get into. But in the meantime, if you want to follow me on Twitter, @BigFrankRed, you can do that. I'm gonna give you a little secret. I like my anonymity. This kind of audio visual thing, you know, it takes some getting used to. It really does, man. I mean, I don't like looking at myself. Why would anybody else want to look at me? All right. I mean, that's my view. Some people love the camera. I don't. I'm okay with it. I can get with it. But ideally, you know, voice to voice, mind to mind is how I like to communicate. The visuals don't matter as much to me. All right. I also want to talk about Doc Rivers, because there's a lot of Doc Rivers slander out there. And I want to clear that up. I want to kill all Doc Rivers slander, because it's not fair. And yeah, I know fair is a place where pigs are judged. Thank you, Stephen A. But Doc Rivers has established himself as one of the best coaches in the history of the NBA. And he should be respected as such. He's also shown us that he's not the type of coach who's going to take a player's big fat butt and lift him over the hill for a championship. He's not that guy. That's Pat Riley. That's Phil Jackson. That's Red Auerbach. You could build an argument to say that that's Popovich or maybe Steve Kerr. But it's not Doc Rivers. That's not Doc. Doc will put you in a position to get it done. And I harken back to his days in Boston, and the one line from one of my favorite players of all time, KG, anything is possible. KG rallied his teammates and said, we're not going to let Doc fail. Did you see Harden and Embiid saying, come on, guys, we're not going to let Doc fail? I didn't see that. Maybe they said it in the locker room, but their lackluster play did not exhibit that. And as a player, I run through a wall for my coach. Anytime, I run through a wall for my coach. That's how I played. I wasn't always the best practice player. I wish I would have been better. But in the games, I played hard. And I didn't like people scoring on me. So, I can relate to guys playing. I can relate to guys boxing out, not boxing out. I can relate to guys diving on the floor, doing whatever it takes to win. I didn't see that from Philly. So for Daryl Morey to let Doc go, yeah, he got a couple years on his contract. I mean, you know, I'm not in Doc's bag either, but I assume he's doing okay financially, you know. So they move on from him. I don't know if that was the right move. It's not by mistake that, if you're listening to reports, Doc's phone is busy right now. Teams are calling Doc. Why? Because he's a damn good coach. You know, Doc is probably setting up tea times, and they're like, nah, hey Doc, slow down. We might want you to do something next winter. Think of the jobs that are open. Milwaukee, Phoenix, Toronto. Those are some of the best jobs in the NBA right now. So I just want to give Doc Rivers a shout out and just say, yo, man, I see what you're doing. And if you can get some guys to go to war for you. And, you know, I get the sense that Doc will kind of talk to you in a real way in the locker room. You got to be able to eat that, man. As a player, go out and produce. Go out and produce. When Moses Malone came to the Philadelphia 76ers in 1983, there was no way Philly was not going to win a championship. No way. He was not going to allow them to lose. And that was one season. That guy played and played and played and played, man. That was awesome when they won that championship. I stood up and clapped like I just seen like a 5 section orchestra play. One of the happiest days of my life to see Dr. J and the Philadelphia 76ers win a championship. And I wanted Embiid to prove me wrong. Because talent-wise, come on, man. Dude, one of the most talented players in the history of the NBA playing the center position. But it's reasonable to question that thirst. It really is. It really is. Shaq O'Neal, Shaq was a monster. Shaq was a winner. And he won championships because it was important to him. Not saying it's not important to Embiid or Harden or any of these guys, but you got to go out there and get it done. It's not about the coach. Coaches can screw things up by holding on to your timeouts and not calling timeout. But players win the games, right? I didn't see Phil Jackson on the court when Mike, made a Polaroid. Who has Polaroids anymore? I didn't see Phil Jackson when Michael Jordan did Russell. Did you? Byron Russell? Was Phil anywhere? No. That was Mike. After stealing the pass from Carl, going down, hey, Phil, I got you, bro. Don't worry about it. This is over. That's what I remember. So hopefully Doc Rivers, if he wants to coach, he's going to get a job, all right? I'm also a movie buff. I want to talk about a couple of movies. I went and saw Fast X on Friday night. And if you liked all of the other ones, you're going to like this. It might not be the best one, but it's rock solid. They know how to make an action movie. Vin Diesel was laughing all the way to the bank. Because, I mean, if nobody's watching, he'd probably say, yo, how would you rate yourself as an actor? He might say, I'm an 8 with his fingers crossed, all right? He's probably a 7, Some might say less than that, but he's probably a 7. He'll probably, cross his fingers and say, I'm an 8. But talk about one of the most successful, entrepreneurial, creative types in Hollywood. What he and his movie-making partners have been able to do is extraordinary. And I love to see people getting paid. Think about all of the people who are still getting a check of the Furious 5 series. Helen Mirren is in the movie. Luda's in the movie. Tyrese. I mean, and you guys know all the bigwigs. But the fact that they bring everybody back and they don't disappoint in terms of what that movie franchise is, I love that. Sneaky, I went the last week and saw a movie that's sneaky good. That's what I was trying to say. It's called Hypnotic by Ben Affleck. Kind of a space science, mind-boggling type of movie that I thought was pretty interesting. And the plot line's ridiculous, but it was entertaining and surprising to me as his kind of female counterpart was the great Alice Braga, Queen of the South. She kills the Queen of the South, man. You talk about a role of the century. She was phenomenal in that particular role. So, you got some time. You might want to check out Hypnotic. That's probably going to get to the streaming platforms pretty fast because I don't think it's a major budget movie. So check that out, all right? I'm Frank Red, everybody. This is the In the Dungeon program. And I just wanted to come on. Because I've been getting all these reps on the Crude Show, right? And when I used to do radio, I had a 2-hour show. I took pride in doing 2 hours by myself. I used to do 2 hours by myself. I could talk. Know why? Because I'm prepared. When I do a show, you better believe I'm prepared. You don't see these notes. You don't see all this stuff. But yo, homeboy be working. You know why? Because it's important to me. I also want to inspire people. I want young, old, female, trans. don't care what you are. You have the ability to turn on a computer and entertain and galvanize people about anything that you're interested in. This is what we've been waiting for. It ain't about the money. It's about the passion. Do you have passion for what you do? There's nothing that I do that I don't have passion for. Tonight, I made a scrumptious dinner by myself. Know what I had? Sauteed prawns with garlic dripped in lemon juice. Yeah, homeboy can cook. With broccoli. It was scrumptious. I'm gonna have some tomorrow. I gotta thank my mother for, she did her thing raising her kids, particularly her sons, because when she was doing her thing in the kitchen, I was watching. There's not too much that I can't cook. I have some go-tos, and we'll talk about that as we evolve in this particular show. We just did over 30 minutes, y'all, and I could do another 30. But it's getting late. It's 12:30. We're just grooving. If you like what you are watching or you've heard, subscribe to the show, In the Dungeon Show with Frank Red. If I screwed up the link or something like that, I'll get better. If one person is watching, if nobody's watching, it doesn't matter. I listen to Kanye West's mixtapes quite a bit, right? And Kanye said that he used to give out the dates and the years when he did his mixtapes. And then he said, Large Professor said, yo, don't mention any dates, dude. Because you don't know when people are going to watch you. You don't know when people are going to be listening to your music. Just put it out there in the universe and let it happen. So that's what I'm going to do. It's been a lot of fun. I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to end my show with my tag that I believe in, that I've been doing this thing for so many years and it still resonates. So I'm going to check it out. I want you to check it out. I'm going to break down and I'm going to see you again. And as I get better with technology, I'll be posting when I'm going to do a show. Well, I guess if you subscribe on YouTube, then you'll know automatically. But I'll also be posting some of the links on Twitter as well. So be on the lookout for that. I got 450 Twitter followers. And they're all my friends. It's not random. I talk to people. I follow back. So hit me up on Twitter. Follow me back if you want to. At Big Frank Red. This is In the Dungeon program. Success in getting paid is a manifestation of the whole process. If you as an individual don't do things to help other people make their lives better, as far as I'm concerned, you haven't done nothing. All right? Good night, everybody. Till next time. Ghost.